Hey there, it's your host, Cindy Chang, founder of Evolve Consulting Co. and the visionary behind an exciting new venture launching in 2025, making staffing accessible for companies of all sizes. Welcome back to the Fearless Entrepreneurs podcast, where we dive deep into the stories behind Canada's most inspiring brands. Together, we'll uncover how these bold entrepreneurs sparked their dreams, tackled their toughest challenges, and leaned into their fears to achieve success. I'm thrilled you're here, bold enough to embrace the hard truths and inspired to learn from their journeys. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Hi, Anastasia.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hot outside.
Humid.
Swimming.
Spicy.
Spicy.
Outside today.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for coming to
Thanks
the show.
for having me.
And everyone, this is Anastasia. She's a mama to two littles, a blogger, a media influencer, and the author of Busy Mama Co. And in 2019, Anastasia started her webpage, busymama.blog, and Instagram page, Busy Mama Co., with the intent of sharing adventures to other families with firsthand experience and advice every step of the way. She really takes the guesswork out of travel. And I can attest to that because I use your page
Awesome.
literally like a Bible when I need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
The drive behind Busy Mama Co. is Anastasia's ongoing struggle with agoraphobia, the fear of outside large spaces and crowds. And the only thing that helps her grow from her fears is really facing them.
Yes.
So fascinating. And in 2023, Anastasia published Ripped, Rippled, and Repaired, which I have a copy right here, as well as she brought one for a giveaway, where she documents how she fought to expose her childhood traumas in order to heal from her agoraphobia.
Yeah.
Yes, and so that's available on Amazon now. We'll link it in the show notes.
Thank you. Yep.
So, Anastasia, welcome.
Thank you. That was deep. I'm excited. Trust me. I told you.
Yes.
Everything in my life, I manifest. It's happening. We're here.
First, on the entrepreneurial part, I mean, the agoraphobia and the blog might be intertwined, but how did you start Busy Mama Co.?
In the beginning, people were, where are you going? What are you doing? How do you know about all these cool places? I was going to start an Instagram specific account for places. And then it kind of became, I want to go and explore because I'm having a lot of trouble with how I'm feeling and I need to get out of the house. I want to hold myself accountable for how I'm feeling. And in order to do that, I have a following now that are watching every move I make. They want to go places. They want to see what's out there. And so I want to explore to give them stuff to do.
Yeah, amazing. So it just kind of started because you pushed yourself to get out there. People were like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And it just organically became.
Organically, COVID happened. Everyone was trapped inside. Agoraphobia got worse.
Yeah.
I was pregnant with my daughter, very sick from being pregnant with her, which also made my agoraphobia worse because my fear is being sick in public.
Right.
So I was terrified to leave the house. And in that time, when doors started opening or we were allowed to go places besides our house, even for walks or hikes, then I really started opening up on my platform about where we can go, our mental health, and how we need to be out in nature. I mean, I've hiked every hiking trail probably an hour from Halton. I've been everywhere. And that's how a lot of Busy Mamas started. They were hiking trails.
Yes.
And I haven't been hiking in a long time for a whole other reason.
Yeah.
That's how it started. So once doors started opening, I had a wealth of information to give all of these new followers that were coming through looking for places to go because I'd been everywhere. So I really started to blossom and
Amazing.
yeah, and it really helped me through the pandemic. There was no way I would have made it through the pandemic, that pregnant, feeling how I felt.
Yeah.
Being terrified of getting sick if I didn't have a reason to get outside.
Right. How much later did you create the blog versus the following? Once it started growing and you were like, there's something here.
Yeah.
How did you transform that into a business?
So I guess I'm type A because as soon as someone said, oh, in the UK, there was a blog like this, I'm going to do that. And immediately that day, I started working on the blog and uploading over 200 places that I had visited, their descriptions, pictures, everything. So that's kind of how it all started. And then when I got to, I think it was 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
I said to myself, now I'm going to start approaching businesses. I'm going to take on contracts. We're going to do a lot more with this. And that was probably only a couple years ago.
Did you follow a roadmap?
No, I mean, it's so hard. And a lot of people can attest to this when you have two little ones at home. Plus, during the pandemic, I mean, I had a baby and a 3-year-old at home. I could barely even focus on Busy Mama a lot of the time. I was stuck trying to navigate it, but also not sleeping ever and trying to raise 2 kids. And then I had a kid in school who was always getting sick. So
the toddler times?
Yeah. It's a lot. So I am not one where I'm allotting 3 hours to sit on the computer and research how to approach businesses or how to gain a following. It's just happening just because I'm going out, we're filming what we're doing, we're showing it on Instagram, and that's just how we've gotten to where we've gotten. There's no tools or tricks or anything behind it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredible, right? I think part of this podcast is really inspiring people who have thought about opening up a business or thought about wanting to do something on their own or turn their side hustle into a business and just can't do it or feel like they can't,
or how to start too, right? I actually created a guide last summer on like how to use social media to your advantage for businesses, because I was working with an indoor playground and they wanted to know how to create a following. And one of the things I said is post every day. You have to have new material every day. There's a lot of social media accounts that are out there that don't post ever.
Yeah.
They don't interact with other accounts. You're never going to grow that way. I was posting every single day. My stories on my Instagram, no matter, I was in labor and I was still posting on Instagram. I actually didn't know I was going to go into labor with my daughter. That morning, I was like, oh, if anybody has any questions or needs a recommendation on a place to go, let me know. And so then I went into labor. It was quick. I'm sitting in the hospital answering people, and people had no idea that I was going through labor with my daughter. But you just got to keep on trucking. You got to keep going. And
What day was your daughter born?
August 26th.
If anyone got a message from Anastasia on August the 26th, she was likely in labor.
Oh,
when she was messaging you.
My epidural,
kicking in, feeling
the
all
laughing
fine.
gas.
Yeah.
So sorry if I gave you weird recommendations because
I love that.
I wasn't all there.
Yeah. And I think that's really incredible. And is that a guide that you share on your blog with?
It's on my blog. It's available on Amazon as well.
Okay.
It's like a short guide on just tips and tricks, and even like a format now on how to reach out to other influencers. Yeah. I have a list of other influencers who I'm pretty close with, who we do a lot of events with, that I always hand out to other businesses if they want to reach out to influencers.
Yeah.
I'm always here to help.
Okay, well, we're going to link that in the show notes so we can connect people to the blog, because that is a big thing for businesses now is marketing, right?
Huge.
And social media, you're right. Like you have to engage with it in order for it to be like a living, breathing
all the time
beast. Yeah. You've done that really well. It's been incredible, the growth that you've had.
Thank you.
I always thought you were big even before COVID. You know, it's interesting to hear that you felt the real climb was from during COVID.
Yeah. Anybody that has like an Instagram account that wants the followers to follow them, there's like specific numbers you want to hit to look official. And mine was 10,000.
Okay.
And then once I passed that, I didn't care about how many followers I had. I mean, I still look all the time, but it's also, it doesn't matter the metrics. To me, my account is families that are close to us in Halton or in Ontario, in Hamilton, to Niagara. So they're real families that are close to me. It's not like I'm doing clothing or Amazon finds where there's people across the globe that are looking. It's real people here.
That's within this region, right?
Yeah.
And where did you feel was the biggest hurdle to jump through? What number did you remember on your social media that you were like, oh, I really can't get past this number?
It was probably just over 10,000. And then I posted a video about playgrounds outside.
Yeah.
And it went viral.
Okay.
I guess people say it didn't hit an insane amount, but 300,000 people watched it.
That's an insane amount. Just
Yeah,
a casual 300,000.
It was a lot for me.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at my girlfriend's house. The kids are swimming. We're having some drinks. And I'm like, oh my God, there was literally follower after follower after. And what is happening? It was so cool. And at that point, my account jumped probably 4,000 people, which was insane for me. And so ever since then, I mean, the following's cool, but I care about how many people are watching my reels.
Yes.
And it's almost like a game to me. When you post, what time you post.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what's the secret?
I don't know. I have no idea. If
You
anyone
gotta crack the
knows,
code
I
and
know.
let us know, right?
That I've been trying to research, and I really don't know. I see some accounts who have less following than me, and their videos have way more views than mine. And I know that my content is great. It's similar to theirs, but how come? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out, I guess.
Yeah. We're going to have to circle back on a comeback episode.
Yeah.
So your business is doing well, and you've done hikes, parks, playgrounds. That's been your niche. And where are you kind of moving towards next in your business?
So this has been tricky for me. This summer, I wanted to do a lot of staycations, and I really manifested that, and we had a lot lined up. So staycations over the summer, fall, and winter. But then my littlest is going to start school. JK. And so I'll have no kids at home. And so I was kind of at that point after 7 years of being a stay-at-home mom. What do? I don't know anything right now but being a stay-at-home mom. And you also fear the first year of school, my daughter's going to come home sick a lot. I just don't know what it's going to be like. And I'm sure everybody knows the crisis of finding before and after school care.
It's horrible.
It's impossible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have that playing in the cards, like the cost of things. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but Busy Mama is probably going to continue doing the same kid-friendly activities. And then on top of it, I'll be doing more mom-friendly activities.
I was going to say, let's have you go figure out things to do with mom. Can I come with you?
Yes. We'll be a team. It'll be fun. That's what I want to do. There are like hundreds of wineries. Yeah.
And in the backyard, literally.
In the backyard.
Yeah.
It's just up the road from me. It's fun. There's so many things at vineyards, even breweries.
Yeah.
Things for kids to do. I had this post, I should bring it back, but a couple years ago, somebody said, are there kid-friendly vineyards? There are tons with playgrounds so that you can sit and do like a wine tour and have drinks and your kids are occupied too.
Oh, you definitely need to bring that one back, especially in this weather. People are thirsty.
I know. So I'm going to definitely focus on that. Spas. I want to hit up Markham, Toronto, Vaughan.
Yeah.
Reach out that way because I do so much in Halton and Niagara area. So I want to reach out the other way.
I think that's a great plan. And I think really like coming out of COVID and just really how it impacted everyone's mental health, I think that is such a positive. What can I look forward to? If I don't want to have my kids this weekend, what can I do?
The silver lining. Yeah.
Something that you said that I want to circle back to is that you spent the last 7 years as a stay-at-home mom and building a business.
Yes.
Was that always by design that you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but then you wanted to do the bit? I think that's incredible.
Well, the plan between my husband and I was to be a stay-at-home mom. That was our plan, was to stay home, raise my son, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm type A, and I couldn't sit still. So while my son was little, I was taking university courses online to be a psychologist.
Okay.
And then
Just going to get a casual PhD.
that was my goal in the end, a long time ago. Then I started making wreaths and selling. I can't sit still. So the online classes weren't great because I can't focus because my son's learning to walk. Then I'm selling wreaths and I'm very artsy. I love a good DIY. And I was making them for myself, my mother-in-law and friends. And then I just started selling them.
Oh my God.
And I just hated the feeling of customer service. I hated when people were disappointed in you. I hated dealing with people that weren't happy with your work. And so I ixnay on this.
Yeah, and how do you ship this thing and not break into a million pieces? Yeah.
Why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
So it was fun. X-day that.
Yeah.
And then I went into Busy Mama just for fun. I wasn't thinking it was going to be anything until it started to be something. And then I was like, what can I do with this?
That is so magical. In a way, it just kind of found you organically, and now it's a business.
And what stay-at-home mom wouldn't want this as a side gig?
And I think that's what's really inspirational is I talk to moms all the time as a recruiter. I think moms are one of the most underutilized talent pools that there are because they're smart, they're great with logistics, they know how to multitask, obviously, right? And they're just warriors. And the fact is, if we can have that inspire other stay-at-home moms to say, hey, you know what, this is what I really enjoy doing, and turn that into a business, I think that's really beautiful.
It's amazing. Yeah, you can do anything. You put your mind to it and just do it. Don't be scared. Just go out there and do it.
I love that. So let's dig into your book and your history of really the root. You're like,
let me have
is there
some
vodka
water
in here?
I know. A glass of wine.
Where's your wine? This really stems from a deep-rooted place for you.
Yes.
Right?
Huge.
And so do you want to share with us that journey for you?
So I was in my early 20s when I started experiencing full-blown panic attacks when I was in Walmart or a grocery store, like a big box store with bright lights and a lot of people, or if we were in crowds, I was having a lot of trouble. On top of it, at that time when you're in your 20s, there's alcohol everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I would feel weird. I would have a drink. It would calm me down. And then I got to my mid-20s and I was like, this is weird. Something's going on. I need to figure it out. And that's when my doctor diagnosed me with agoraphobia.
Okay.
Then I found out it was genetic. It was something that my dad had. It's something that's been in our family. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't something that I did, which I thought. But it's something that was always in the back of me. It was brought out by a couple occasions when I was younger, where I had experienced being sick and I didn't receive the right kind of comfort that you would have when you're sick. Like a mom is like the perfect source of your comfort when you're sick. And I didn't have that. I had my mom, but she wasn't there in these instances. And so those times where I was sick and wasn't having comfort triggered me into adulthood, because this whole time I was terrified of getting sick and not being comforted. And it built and built to the point where I'm still scared. Illnesses, germs, they freak me out.
Yeah.
Every time one of my kids gets sick, to anybody else, oh, you have a cold.
Yeah.
To me, it's, oh my God, my kids have a cold. This is horrible. I'm not going to make it. We're not going to sleep. The world is ending for me.
Yeah. And it's magnified for
Huge.
you.
Yeah. And so I was really struggling through the pandemic. When I had my daughter, it actually set off OCD for me.
Okay.
Which is linked to being hormonal.
Okay.
So when I was hormonal with my daughter through like pregnancy and then delivery, I developed OCD where I started having really bad intrusive thoughts.
Okay.
And I didn't realize until my son had his first episode with norovirus, all of what was happening in my head.
Yeah.
And I never realized it. I was having intrusive thoughts probably the entire time I was awake.
Yeah.
What if somebody gets sick? What am I going to do if this happens? And playing scenarios out in my head. And so that's when I went and got help.
Good. Yeah.
And started digging like deep into why all this happened.
So for you, it was little pieces leading up to discovering what it was.
Yes.
And at first, was it a journey with the doctors? When you told them your symptoms, they weren't like agoraphobia. That's the one, right?
They did.
Or they were.
It was just our
interesting.
family doctor. And I just explained that I was like terrified of being out in the public, being in lineups at the bank and waiting. It would give me a panic attack. And he said, that's agoraphobia. And that's where it ended in my 20s. They said, you can take prescription medication. I said, I don't want that.
Okay.
Just because my own journey with my mom and her addictions, I didn't want to deal with prescription pain medicine. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know the severity of agoraphobia at the time. Now, when I hear of other people dealing with mental health issues, if the medicine's right for you, take it. If it's going to work for you. I was more of the mindset that I needed to deal with things through cognitive behavior therapy, going out and facing my fears dead on so that I could tell myself mentally, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. And that just made me feel better and be able to handle it better. But it wasn't until my son had norovirus and I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. I couldn't eat. I'd never in my life, I mean, I'd had times where I had lows and felt depressed or was super anxious.
Yeah.
But this was different. I couldn't eat. I couldn't stomach food because I was scared I was going to get sick, or I was scared one of my kids was going to get sick. So I didn't want to put food inside of my body.
Yeah.
I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. I was rail thin. I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia. So I was awake all night long, scared one of the kids was going to wake up. And I remember saying to my husband, crying, being like, when am I going to feel normal? I just don't feel normal. And I just want to feel normal. Somebody said to try EMDR, which is when you're dealing with trauma, your body processes things when you're sleeping through your REM sleep cycle.
Yeah.
And your eyes move side to side.
Yeah.
So when you're doing EMDR, you're holding these paddles in your hand that send pulses in each hand. So while you're dealing with your traumas, it's pulsating in each of your hands. And so you kind of unearth all the traumas you've been through, and then you can move past them. So somebody said, give it a try. And I said, I'll try anything.
Yeah, sure. You're so tired at that point. You're
done.
just like tapped out.
Yeah. I was like, this can't be life. There has to be something to get out of this. So I did that, and I worked with one therapist for a year weekly. I never missed anything. We even did it over video chat on like days where the kids were sick because I needed it so bad. And I did come out the other side.
Okay, so that helped you.
100%. That's not to say that I don't have bad days or bad weeks when the kids get sick, or I hear another kid in school is sick. I start thinking about it again.
Yeah.
I know that it's going to be okay.
Right. Oh, wow. So MDR really helped you channel through and work through some of the trauma.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that something you would recommend for people that have had deep-rooted trauma?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. I've never heard that before.
I'd never heard of it either. And it definitely worked, especially with the instances when I was little that I can still remember so clearly. So I know that these things are what triggered all of this all these years ago.
Yeah.
Also hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Yes, which is weird.
Was it?
It was. I'm going to say it worked in the fact that I was so relaxed and I'm being hypnotized by a therapist. And they're asking me questions about my childhood, and we're going through that again. And I could remember so much, almost in a trance, talking about these instances.
And you're awake hearing yourself talk
awake.
about it?
Yes.
But
I
you're
was
not
present.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird. And I definitely felt lighter after.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. There's a lot of people who are going through trauma nowadays that don't really know where to turn. And they get to the stage where you were at before, where then you're not sleeping. It's consuming your life.
It's a dark place.
It's a dark place.
Yeah.
So to know that there are tools that help even just lift the fog a little bit so you can think clearly and give yourself better tools. Like, I think it's good to know that they exist out there.
And you're not going to feel like that forever, because I remember those weeks where I was literally terrified that I was always going to feel like this. I can't live my life like this. I can't do this and be present for my kids and my husband. Yeah.
And so let's kind of go back to your childhood. I know a lot of that is in the book from the get-go.
Yes.
You had mentioned the absence of your mom and, you know, her battle with addiction.
Yes.
And that agoraphobia is inherently genetic, right?
Yeah.
There are things that your mind picked up as a child based on your experiences that really lifted those out, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So are you comfortable in sharing the experiences from your childhood that led up to the agoraphobia?
Like the actual experiences?
Okay.
So there was one instance where I was in school. I was in grade 1 and I wasn't feeling well. And looking back at it now, they're classic agoraphobic symptoms, and my son has gone through it. So I know that it's completely normal. At school, the previous day I went to the office because I wasn't feeling well. I went home. The second day, I wasn't feeling well. I wanted to go to the office and go home again. And my teacher said, sorry. And she put the garbage can next to me and said, if you're going to throw up, just throw up then. At that point, I'm not getting any comfort at all. My teacher's not believing me.
You're 6. You're like, sure, right.
I know. And so that was something that probably scarred me because now I'm scared of getting sick in public.
Right.
I actually have emetophobia too, which is the fear of vomit.
Oh my God.
Which I didn't know about until my son actually had norovirus. I always knew I didn't like it.
Norovirus is the worst.
My car. And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And another instance, almost similar, I was at my dad's house,
Yeah.
who also had agoraphobia. And I'm sure he had fears of vomit and similarities that I have. But we were all sleeping and I got up and I said I wasn't feeling good. And he said, well, here's the trash can.
Yeah.
And I was like dry heaving in it. And we lived in the basement of my grandparents' house. And he sent me upstairs to my grandma to get sick with her.
Yeah. Because he couldn't. Yeah.
Now that I look back at it, because he's passed away, I don't think that he could handle it.
Did he know he had agoraphobia?
I want to say yes. I didn't know that he had agoraphobia myself. He passed away when I was 14.
Okay.
When I told my uncle I had agoraphobia, his twin brother, my uncle said, your dad did too. I wish I could turn back the hands of time and I talk
have
to
a
your
chat
dad.
with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And be like, so what's going on? My son goes through such similarities that I went through when he was in senior kindergarten.
Yeah.
A kid got sick in front of him at school. And his teacher called me saying, Massimo's having a panic attack because he feels like he's going to throw up because a kid threw up in front of him, which is a normal thing.
Yeah.
If somebody throws up in front of you, it's gross.
Yeah.
But to my son, he literally, I picked him up from school, was having a panic attack.
Oh.
And as soon as we got home and he was in a safe space, he was fine.
Okay.
To me, I'm a little more sensitive to those instances because
Been there.
I've been there. I
Yeah.
went through the same thing. There's no way I'm going to say to my son, you know what, you're fine. Just stay at school. I was like, drove like the wind to get him and
Yeah.
then talked him through it the whole way
Yeah.
home. But I also can't save him in all those instances either. When he's not feeling well or he's not feeling comfortable in his space, I have to talk him through it.
Yeah.
And have him try to stick it out. Otherwise, you let your mind win.
Take over.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you're doing with him is really also giving him the tools to be able to deal with it where you didn't have those tools.
1,000%.
Nobody talked to you through it. You bring up this word comfort a lot, right? And
Yeah.
that comes through in your book too, where you're like, I wasn't comforted in a proper way where it gave you those tools to deal with the agoraphobia or
Yeah.
even know what it was at the
Yeah.
time. As a child, you always blame yourself. This is my fault. If I do this, then it's my fault,
Yeah.
right?
Or it's
yeah.
normal, like,
Yeah.
because you don't know anything else. I
Right.
remember going through therapy and asking my therapist all the time, is this normal?
Yeah.
Even the fact that I was restricting my food, it's something that I've been doing my entire life. I may just be thin because I've been subconsciously limiting my intake of food. I
Yeah.
was told somewhere that too much candy can make you sick, so I don't feed my kids candy.
Yeah.
I was told that eating too much watermelon hurts your stomach. So every time my kid reaches for another piece of watermelon, I'm always trying to prevent my fear from coming to light.
Right.
But I've also created all of these cautions, all of these things that, you know, if you spin in too many circles, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
And so I've limited myself from eating and doing a lot of things because of that.
Because you don't want to get sick in public.
Anywhere.
And then the whole being afraid of vomit on top of that. And then how you control it as a person is through food, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Why is it that you didn't feel like you got the comfort from your mom? What happened there?
I think that my mom was just away. I'm sure she had her own demons that she was dealing with in our childhood. My mom worked as a waitress, and so she was gone a lot at night. And that's when my dad had to step in. And as we got older and I recognized that she was an addict and she was having problems with alcohol, I don't think that she was present. I think she was too far gone to be anybody to anybody. Like, she
Right.
just could not be a mom.
Right.
She was an amazing mom
Yeah.
when she was an amazing mom, but she was just like fighting this demon for so long that
Yeah.
I think that she just couldn't be there for me.
Yeah.
Or
she
my
was struggling
sisters. Yeah.
herself, right?
Yeah.
And you come from a family of...
I have
Yeah.
2 sisters, so
Okay.
it's me and I have 2 older sisters.
You're the
Yeah.
youngest
I'm
of
the
the
baby.
3 as well. Me
Yeah.
too. Me
Are
too.
you?
Yeah, I am. When you got the label, and I don't want to use the word label, but when the doctors were like, this is agoraphobia, was that releasing for you or was that like...
No. I think at the time,
Yeah.
I blamed myself. I was like in my early 20s. Like maybe I partied too hard. Maybe I did something that brought this on. It wasn't until I met with my uncle and he told me that there were other family members that also had agoraphobia.
Okay.
That I was like, oh my gosh, it's not something I did. It's genetic. And I just have it.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving with my then boyfriend at the time and being like, wow, that's like weight lifted off my shoulders. You have no idea.
That's your moment of when it felt the release, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because throughout your childhood too, you've always thought this was your fault,
Always.
right? Like
Yeah.
the teacher making you feel guilty, the instances where you're just not feeling comforted.
Yeah.
You always then, and I think that humans do that very naturally as they blame themselves, but then that adds on to the layers of anxiety
For sure.
and complexities and everything that's added to it,
Yeah.
right?
Now that I know that I have agoraphobia
Yeah.
and I look back at my childhood, I can see how many times I was suffering through the panic and the fear, and nobody knew. Nobody was there for me.
Right.
I was at sleepovers and I would always call my mom and be like, Mom, I don't feel good. And she would pick me up from the sleepover.
Yeah.
But nobody thought that this is, I mean, there weren't resources when
Back
we
in
were
the day,
kids
yeah.
to say, she's suffering, you should put her on a low dose of medication or she should go into therapy. There was nothing, no talk of that.
Yeah. And it was almost like, you know, you're fine, or like,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't like we need to go check the doctor for something that's wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's like
my mom would have been like, suck it up. Just I'm not picking
Suck it up, buttercup.
I'm
Yeah.
not picking you up. You're fine.
Yeah.
So
Wow. And that's a lot to go through for a
it's
child,
a lot,
right?
But then it always brings me back to my son. He has crazy anxiety before he goes to sleep at night. Always
Right.
has. So he always listens to a recording on YouTube called Mrs. Honeybee. And it's like meditation stories for kids. So they have Minecraft and Pokemon, and he listens to it religiously every single night to go to sleep.
Because it helps him
It
just
helps him
process his
relax.
thoughts,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Do you feel like it helps you parent differently as a result of what you
Yes.
went through as a child?
But I think that it parents in a fearful way. I'm almost scared of my son
Okay.
because when he has anxiety, it triggers me to have anxiety.
Right.
So it's hard for me to help him through when he's having a panic attack or feeling anxious because it actually makes me have a panic attack and feel anxious too.
Yeah, you're almost mirroring what he feels,
Yeah,
right? Or
yeah.
it brings out your triggers.
Yeah,
So what
so-
do you do? That's
My
very
husband,
complicated.
I know.
Okay, husband.
My
There we go.
husband's like a big
Yeah.
help. Like I used to put my son to sleep and then he would go through the, like my tummy hurts because he was anxious.
Yeah.
And, like I'm anxious. And you want to be there so bad for my son, but I also know that I'm giving him anxiety too because
Right.
I don't know how to back off a bit. I always
Right.
say, are you okay? Do you
Yeah.
feel okay? Does your tummy feel okay?
Yeah.
Because my OCD wants me to be preemptive in everything and have a game plan for everything.
You kind of step into like a game time mode,
Yeah, like
right?
I'm like everything to me is like an emergency.
Fight
like,
or flight.
yes,
Yeah.
always. And
Really?
yeah.
Wow. When you put him to bed, is that something that you have to just step away from, or how do you deal with?
I think when he became older, he didn't want mommy anymore. He wants daddy because they play video games and Pokemon and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I was
yeah.
let off the hook.
Yeah.
And then I did put him to sleep not long ago. And he's, Mommy, you make me feel anxious. And then something clicked in me and I was like, yeah, we're going to feel each other's energy. And I'm sure that daddy's like super chill and doesn't question things that I would normally question. So yeah.
And it's interesting.
7
now,
almost,
7.
yeah.
And he is just so aware of the idea of anxiety, which when I was 7,
Never.
I wouldn't know- what's that word? I don't think
Never.
I've learned that until my like late 20s, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you teach a child what anxiety is?
So this was something I feel was never actually discussed with my husband and I because he's more of the mindset, if you don't talk about it, they won't think about it. Where I'm more, let's talk about it and then work through it,
Yeah.
like because it's there. And so I think now that my son's a little bit older, my husband sees my son going through similarities that I have explained or I've gone through. And so he's allowed the conversations of having anxiety and what it feels like and what it looks like and coping mechanisms.
Great.
But I've always explained to my son early on, this is what anxiety feels like. And I've labeled the anxiety. Your tummy hurts. Well, that's probably anxiety. Or you have butterflies. It's the first day of school. Like you're having a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
Going to karate for the first time. It's normal. Everybody feels that way.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes you might feel it more than the next
Other
person.
people. I think that's so helpful. We grew up in a time where that's what our parents thought. If we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And if we don't talk about feelings,
Yeah.
then feelings don't exist.
Yeah.
So I think you've changed that pattern with parenting just by helping them understand it's a passing feeling. It's a normal feeling. It's okay to feel like that. You should be really proud of yourself for giving that to your son despite your own challenges.
Yeah, you see on like the Facebook groups, the parenting groups where kids are suffering in their teens. And I always think that could be my son one day. He might use drugs or alcohol to try to mask how he's feeling. And so before we get there, I want to figure this out with him and we're going to have the conversations. I'm scared for him. My life could have taken two turns. I could have not addressed this.
Yeah.
And I could have went really downhill. I could have started using drugs. I could have followed my mom's footsteps and started drinking a lot.
To numb the pain, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is super easy to do and it works in the moment, but that's just not the way that I wanted to live my life. And I really hope that when my son gets to be of age that he can make his own decisions and we can talk through things as they come up.
Yeah. You're a wonderful mom.
Thank you.
And so do you like it? What's interesting that I wanted to just ask about really quickly is this tied to OCD with agoraphobia, because you said it was hormonally linked.
Yes.
So many things are coming to mind for me because I think a lot of moms go through postpartum, right?
Oh, yeah.
Postpartum is real.
Yeah.
It's very real. And a lot of that is linked to hormone changes that are happening in our body that we can't control, right?
Yes.
We have a baby, we're injected with double the times of hormones every single day. And then you have this baby and then they're removed from you every single day. I think that leads to a bit of what I've always defined as OCD-like behavior, right? I think that's so fascinating that you said that because I've always thought it, but I've never really connected the two together.
So I had no idea until I started going to therapy that I had any kind of OCD tendencies. I thought OCD was just putting things in order and wanting to be clean.
Or like turning the light switch on and off.
Yeah,
5
like
times.
doing something repeatedly. And then it wasn't until I talked to my therapist and there was talks of how I have these intrusive thoughts. And my intrusive thoughts are playing out something happening in my head all day long. I'll play out my son coming up to me and saying, I'm going to throw up, and then throwing up everywhere. And then in my head, I start playing out, well, the towels are here, the bleach is here, and this is what I'm going to do to make it better so that nobody else gets sick. Or my son's spinning around too much at the playground. To fix that, I need to give him like motion sickness tablets or gravel before we get to that point. And I play out scenarios like that all the time in my head. So I'm having a situation occur, but before it occurs, I have a whole game plan of how to.
You need to control like what's
all
happening.
the time.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, yeah.
And that's OCD.
Yeah, it's a form of OCD, especially the
Interesting.
intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
I never realized how much I actually thought about it until I talked to my therapist about it and said, when I put my son to sleep at the end of the night and he says, my tummy hurts, I go full into, oh, he's going to throw up. We're going there.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, where's the garbage can? And where any other person would probably just be like, oh, he's fine.
Right.
My husband wouldn't even bat an eye if my son
Right.
said his tummy hurt one time.
Oh my God. Kids are so trippy. They just trigger.
I know.
They trigger everything.
Always.
I think. Always.
Always,
Right.
yeah.
I always feel, and I've always made this parallel that I have my daughter who's 4.5, and I don't know why. I just say kids are just so triggering because they will force you to look at what you don't want to look at, what you haven't truly looked at as a child, your traumas. Kids will force you to just see that.
Yeah.
Wow, fascinating. And thank you so much for sharing and kind of like
course.
being so open to that.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about the process of writing this book. So this is your book here, Ripped, Rippled, and Repaired, right?
Yes, yeah.
The cover, let's kind of talk about the choice for your cover because it's so different than your busy mama persona, right?
Yes. It's dark. As you go through the chapters, ripped is when I'm going through my childhood traumas. Rippled is earthing them with my therapist, and repaired is obviously the steps that I took and the steps that other people can take to heal. And this was just a dark time in my life. And my brother-in-law actually said to me, like, it's really easy to go out there and write a book and put it on Amazon. I think I'm going to do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that because I think I need to do that. I didn't do it for any kind of financial gain. That was never my game plan. I wanted to tell my story. That was it. I just want to get the words on paper because I've been through so much. Even when I look at my father passing away or my mother and her addictions, I could have went so downhill. It's so far into left field. And here I am, like working so hard every day to be a mom and to work as like the busy mama and be like a face of my account that people look up to. People look to see where she's going or what she's doing.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to give hope to other people that felt that while in my life, I just felt like I was never going to feel normal again. I want people to know that's not forever.
Can I tell you a little bit about what it does for me
I
as a
would
mom?
love to.
When I didn't even know about the trauma piece of your life, me and my husband follow you. We're like on the weekend, we're like, where do we go? Let's see where busy mama is. Let's check out where she's going. And this hike doesn't look like it's for us because you've been there and it's not stroller friendly.
Yeah.
I remember walking alongside with you in that journey. And I think just as an immediate influencer, you were already so impressive, right? Because you were just helping moms so much as let me just take out the heavy lifting for you and let's just review this place so you don't have to. And then you came out with this book. And then I was like, wow. Literally, I couldn't have ordered this book faster. And as soon as you had it, I bought it immediately.
Thank you.
Because I already thought you were amazing. And then you were doing all of this amazing stuff despite all this other crazy shit I was going through. Like,
which I think is wild too. You see me going on all these road trips and I probably make things look super easy with my kids who are screaming at me and ruining my car.
Like your lavender field one. I'm like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me just go run with my kids through the lavender
I
field.
know. But meanwhile, I'm dealing with all of this heavy unearthing in the background and nobody really knows.
Nobody would know that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes your story so inspirational is that you conquer and face your fears, even though it's an uphill battle for you
always,
every single time, right? And you do it and you make it look flawless, which that's the difficult part.
That's the camera. That's the camera.
No, that's your energy.
I
think that's your gift to the world is really just your goal for wanting to help people is greater than the fear that you want for yourself to consume.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't ever want anybody that feels the way that I feel to be stuck in that place.
Right.
And after I came out with the book, like the amount of people that were like, I have agoraphobia too. Just knowing that I could get up and go to Canada's Wonderland, an insane place. People are like, wow.
I mean, I can't even go to Canada's Wonderland and I don't have agoraphobia. I was like, and crowds, that's like,
I know.
It's a lot, right?
After COVID, everywhere was a crowd because it was almost like COVID woke everybody up. We need to live life.
Yes.
It's now everywhere is packed and crazy. And
yeah. Oh my gosh. And so that was my other question for you is how did your audience react to the book?
I guess a lot of people that know me don't know me. Like even people I've grown up with, they had no idea. I had a childhood friend that lived around the corner and had no idea this stuff was happening in your house. I would have never known, but nobody would know. It's not something you
broadcast.
Yeah. And at the time, like I'm still a kid. I don't even know what I'm dealing with and how to deal with it. And the grown-ups in my life, there weren't many because my mom had cut a lot of people off in her addiction.
Yeah.
But I mean, friends, parents and stuff, they helped as much as they could. But what could you do for me?
And also, you didn't really know what you needed at that time because you thought it was normal.
Yes.
Right? You weren't like,
I thought it was all normal.
This is not normal compared to other kids. You were like, this is my life.
That's exactly what I thought. Right. This is my life. These are the cards I was dealt with, and this is how I'm going to have to live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. The last section that I have is I get to know your CEO, right? They're just quick rapid fire questions just to get to know you a little bit better. They're super fun.
Now I'm sweating.
Now I'm sweating. On top of the humidity, now
Yeah.
you're sweating. Would you call yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert.
Introvert?
Yeah.
So funny because you're a busy mama. You're just like so free, and most
I think
people
it's like
are.
a mask. You want the persona of being like fun and bubbly. At the end of the day, because of my mental health, I just want to chill inside with my kids. Like I'm one of those people that's, oh, so did you want to cancel like our Friday night plans?
You're like, oh,
okay.
You have to cancel? Too bad,
Sorry,
right?
I'm in my house coat.
You're like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. Essentially,
Yeah.
you have like
Yes.
your busy mama as your persona.
Beyonce's my
right?
girl.
I
Yes.
love it. Bae, here we go. Are you a coffee or a tea person?
Coffee all day.
Coffee? How
Yeah.
many coffees a day?
Because of my anxiety, I can only have one. I always order a second one in the afternoon, and I never, like, I'll have 2 sips
You'll
of
just
it.
graze on
Yeah.
it, right? A couple years ago, I had to, this is a side story. A couple years ago, I had to cut coffee out because it was giving me so much
Oh, yeah.
anxiety. My heart was literally pounding out of my chest. And then my psychic did a healing session
Ooh.
that said it came from a previous life, that something bad happened to me, where it's nothing, like my life is beautiful. I have a great husband, my one kid, my fur baby is healthy, everyone is great. But there was something like just pecking very specifically in my heart.
Wow.
Right? And she said it was from a past life and something had happened and she had to clear me from it. And then after that, I could drink coffee.
I need to see this person.
Are you a early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
Really?
I'm always in bed. My friends laugh because they'll be texting me. It'll be 8 o'clock and they won't get a response. Yeah, I'm done.
I love that. What's your comfort food?
I think nachos. Like my husband and I are very bad at ordering skip the dishes all the time, and we always order nachos. Nachos.
That's an in one.
Yeah.
Are you a summer or winter person?
Oh, summer.
Summer.
I love fresh fallen snow.
Yeah.
Love it. It's beautiful, but warm. Yeah.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
This is like my jam. What's your favorite way to relax after a long day?
It used to be to have a bath, but then you had kids and they come into the bathroom while you're having a bath.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like a Bravo reality TV
Yes.
buff. I've seen them all. So
What's your
I've got
fave?
I don't know if I have one specific. I love Summer and Winter House.
Okay.
I love
so like
all
home
the
reno
Real
shows?
Housewives. Oh no, it's reality like where they live in like a house and they get like drunk and they do stupid stuff. Like, and they're all young. Well, they're not that young.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Reality TV is the best. It's
Yes.
what I binge on too. You just want to like zone out and watch people.
Escape your own reality.
Yes.
Yeah, there.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
and
for having me.
sharing your story and being so honest. And through all of that, I think you are an amazing mom on top of that.
Thank you.
Being there for your son who's going through a very parallel journey that's not easy.
No.
And I think you're actually giving him more tools than you think you are giving him,
I hope
which
so.
is nice,
I hope
you
so.
know?
Yep.
So you can find Anastasia at busymama.blog as well as Busy Mama Co. We'll link it in the show notes. And look out for the summertime as she's going to post some getaways,
Lots of
staycations. So we're really excited about that. We'll also link it to her social media, how to build your business. I think that would be great for the entrepreneurs. And I'm going to just come visit Vineyards with you.
Yeah.
It'll be Busy Mama Co. /Evolve just tagging along.
Let's do it. We'll do it. A collab.
I love it. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Fearless Entrepreneur podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. For more insights and resources to help your business grow, visit evolveconsultingco.com. Let's continue to turn entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hang around for our next episode where we feature another bold Canadian entrepreneur. Until next time, stay fearless.